What's up, everybody? So, yeah, this is my baby. I do farming a lot. That's my passion. Come on, I'm just joking. I couldn't do farming if my life depended upon it. It's so complicated. But today, we're going to talk about education, okay? Lack thereof and higher education. What it takes for somebody to become a farmer all the way to a pharmacist, okay? So education is seen from the 2nd, 4th, 5th, and 9th house in your horoscope, okay, depending upon the time you're born in Vedic astrology. So 2nd house represents your early childhood development, early childhood learning, like your kindergarten all the way to 8th house. 4th house represents your emotional ability to learn things, your emotional ability to comprehend things, okay, in your life. 5th house is the basic house of education. 5th house represents your bachelor's degree, your high school diploma, okay? 9th house represents higher learning, like your MBA, like your postdoctoral, like PhD, and becoming a doctor, becoming a lawyer requires higher learning, postgrad. So you look at that from the 9th house, okay? And then the signifactor of education, planets that really are determinate, one who are in charge of education, is planet Mercury and Jupiter, okay? More than anything, planet Mercury and Jupiter are very much important when it comes to education, as well as other planets as well, okay? So let's discuss first lack of education. Now, when it comes to determining somebody's education or their lack of education in life, it's very difficult, okay? This is one of the most complicated parts because, learning can happen in any way, in any form. Okay, it could be academic or it could be in a kind of an esoteric learning. Okay, learning outside the boundaries of academic, profession. Now, lack of education usually occurs when your 2nd house is affiliated with malefic planets, like Rahu, Mars, and Saturn. Rahu is the north node of the moon, very malefic. Okay. If these 3 planets are sitting in the 2nd house, or any one of these 2 planets are sitting in the 2nd house without any benefic aspect on the 2nd house, this person will just probably won't even get education in their life. It's going to be very, very hard struggle for them to get an education. They'll get it, if they perceive that, if they have the will to do it, they'll do it. But it's just going to be very, very difficult because because they will not have interest in learning. They will not have interest in learning the academic type of learning, okay? And what 2nd house does also, it gives a harsh speech. When your malefic planets are in the 2nd house, it gives a person a very harsh speech. The person lies a lot. So a person might lie about their education, like, yeah, I'm studying, but they're not studying. They're just playing video games or something. And it gives a person curses a lot when they have malefic planets in the 2nd house. Okay, and so it's very important. And then if you have Mars in the 2nd house in a bad aspect, Mars from its 4th aspect is looking at the 5th house of education, your basic education. So not only it ruins the early education, it also ruins the chances of getting a basic, bachelor's degree or high school education. Saturn, okay? In other words, if Saturn is a slow moving planet, it creates delays in a person's life. So if Saturn is sitting in the 3rd house, let's say, it's aspecting the 5th house from its 3rd aspect. What it does, it delays a person's education, ability to learn. These people usually will, attain their basic education, but in order to get there, they might give a long break. Like in their 20s, they might not go to college, but in their 30s, they'll go to college. In their late 20s, they'll go to college because Saturn delays things. So if Saturn is in the 3rd house, 8th house, and 11th house, okay, what it does, it's always aspects the 5th house from these places. So it delays the education. It makes it very constrained for a person to get the education, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. Malefic planets can also give higher education, like Rahu. Rahu is computers. 50 years ago, Rahu wasn't related to computers, but now it is. So Rahu can be benefic in learning for computer language, okay, in computer engineering. And now higher education, is seen from the 9th house and Jupiter. Your lord of the 5th and 9th, to get like a master's degree or PhD, your lord, in your birth horoscope, whatever planet is ruling the 5th house, okay, and the planet that is ruling the 9th house need to be very well placed, whether in the degree or whether in a certain zodiac sign, it's important that they're helping you achieve that goal. But most importantly, in order to attain that higher knowledge, the signifactors of education have to be there. So Jupiter should be very well placed, and Jupiter should especially be aspecting the ninth house. Okay, so when Jupiter is in the ascendant, these people have no problem in getting education, no matter what kind of a planet might be placed in the fifth, second, or ninth house, because Jupiter saves it controls those certain planets. Say, you know what? So what happens is that in school there is a valedictorian, somebody gets perfect 4.0, but there are other people who graduate college and get master's degree, whether it's a 3.0, 4.0, or 2.5. Yet they're able to do it because their Jupiter pushes them. So even though they have negative planets in these houses, the Jupiter is pushing them. So for Jupiter is aspecting these houses. So Jupiter as in the first house, or Jupiter aspecting the fifth and ninth house really helps in achieving that higher education, even though it might be with a struggle. Now, in astrology, there are divisional charts in Vedic astrology, because if your birth chart is like a TV, then all the divisional charts are like those signals for your different stations on that TV. Okay, so how well your station for children and education is playing, how well the children station for your career is playing. Okay, and I'm sorry, there's no porn channel in here, and I'm sure you guys want to enhance that channel, huh? But anyway, so what happens in Vedic astrology, you look through a microscope on every situation in your life. So education is seen from the D24 chart in Vedic astrology, but be very careful with that, okay? Because this chart changes every 5 minutes. So if you do not know your accurate time of birth, and you were born with between 5 to 10 minute time frame of your time of your birth, then don't even look at the D24 chart, okay? Because then it's going to be giving you just wrong information, okay? But you see, it gets really complicated when it comes to education and determining education, because it could be an esoteric learning. Somebody learns on their own, like Einstein. Einstein learned on his own. He didn't even go to get a college degree, okay? But he was the smartest guy in the world, okay? So it requires practice, requires a lot of practice, looking at a lot of charts, and then you'll know, okay, this is what's happening in the chart. Now, if studying the education gets a bit complicated for you, just remember 4 things, okay? The 2 houses, 5th and 9th house, the condition of those houses, where their lord is placed, okay? What's happening with these houses, and the signifactor of education, which is Mercury and Jupiter. Mercury is about intelligence, learning, how well you're able to comprehend things. So if somebody gave you a book or a problem, how easily can you understand what it says in there? And Jupiter is the opportunity to learn that higher wisdom, that higher education, okay? Ability to easily get into a college. Okay, so remember these 4 things, look at what they're doing in a chart, and then determine. This way you learn the most basic core of astrology. As far as remedies are concerned, again, gotta believe in that higher power. If you have the blessings of that higher power, I don't care how bad your chart is, you're gonna get what you want in life. All right, so this was my basic scenario in education and astrology. If you want to know more about this stuff, if you're new to my channel, subscribe above, because I'm going to be talking about a lot more things like these. And if you want to know about myths and misconceptions of astrology and my book on astrology, check out my link below.